You didn't find this message by accident. Nothing within you brought you here by chance. Every step, every pain, every silence has been converging toward this moment. Today is Tuesday, September 30th, and this night is not ordinary. This night carries an invisible weight, a portal separating who you were from who you are about to become. To the world outside, it appears as just another day on the calendar. But for the chosen ones, this Tuesday was marked long before time itself. This is the hour of revelation. This is the hour of activation. The world always looks for grand dates. It celebrates fireworks, loud headlines, nights when the heavens seem to scream for attention. But true turning points don't arrive that way. The extraordinary loves to hide within the ordinary. The divine prefers to disguise itself in silence because only prepared eyes recognize when the veil tears. That's why this Tuesday is so powerful. It's common to those who cannot see. But for you, the chosen one, it's the day everything changes. Everything you've faced until now has been preparation. No rejection was wasted. No pain was in vain. Every loss, every weight, every tear carried a hidden purpose. Perhaps it seemed unfair. Perhaps it hurt, as if it were punishment. But it was never punishment. It was training. The universe didn't want to destroy you. It wanted to forge you. Just as fire purifies gold and pressure transforms coal into diamond, the battles you faced were shaping your essence for this instant. Before we go deeper into what this night truly means for you, I want to share something that could transform not just tonight, but every day forward. If you're feeling the call to unlock practical and spiritual prosperity with real purpose, I've prepared something special. It's called Prosperity Revealed in 3 Dimensions. And it's available both as an ebook for those who love to read and as an audiobook for those who prefer to listen while walking, driving, or simply reflecting. This isn't about empty promises or quick fixes. It's about discovering abundance that aligns with your soul's purpose, wealth that serves your highest calling, and prosperity that flows from within. You'll find the link in the pinned comment and in the description below. Take a moment to explore it when you feel ready. And now, let's return to what makes this Tuesday unlike any other. Have you ever wondered why your journey always seemed heavier than others? Why nothing came easy while others seemed to glide through life? The answer is simple. You weren't born for the easy path. The ordinary could never sustain your extraordinary destiny. The weight you carried was proof that you were set apart. You are not common. You are chosen. And now, every step, every burden, every silent night converges here. Not tomorrow, not next month, not in some distant future. Here, now, this Tuesday, this night. Think about how many times you postponed your decision. How many times you told yourself, I'll wait for the right sign. I'll wait for the perfect moment. But the sign would never come as you imagined. There would be no fire in the sky, no invisible hands pointing the way. The sign is this, a common silent day that holds within it a power capable of turning your destiny upside down. This is the sign you've been waiting for. This Tuesday is the call. The stage is empty, the scene is yours, and the universe awaits your movement. And here's the paradox. The world will see just another day. People will live as if nothing happened, but you will see the shift. And in the future, when they ask when everything changed, you won't say New Year or some grand cosmic event. You'll say, it was on a Tuesday, nothing special to them. But for me, it was the beginning of everything, because that's how destiny likes to act, in silence, hidden, like treasure buried in plain sight. Only those who were prepared recognize the key when it appears. The chosen ones never fit in. From early on, you realized you couldn't follow the blind flow of the crowd. There was always something in you that refused to obey ready-made scripts, imposed traditions, rigid truths. You felt the pain of being different, the loneliness of walking alone, the strangeness of not fitting into any group. But that difference was never your weakness. It was your confirmation. You weren't molded to fit in. You were molded to open paths. Don't confuse your refusal to bow with rebellion. It was always recognition. Recognition that your soul doesn't accept lies. Recognition that silence in the face of falsehood is complicity. And you were never born to be complicit. You were born to confront. If this message is resonating with you right now, take a moment to hit that like button. It helps this reach others who need to hear it tonight. And if you haven't subscribed yet, join this community of awakened souls by clicking subscribe and turning on notifications. You're not alone in this journey. That contrarian spirit isn't a burden, it's a sign. It's the mark of those who see beyond the obvious. And now that spirit needs to awaken, not to create chaos, but to carry a torch. The power emerging today isn't a crown for display. It's a flame to illuminate. This fire doesn't separate you from others. It opens the path so others can awaken too. The responsibility of the chosen was never to dominate. It was always to guide. It was always to illuminate. Today, this power awakens in you not to inflate your ego, but to light the road ahead. Perhaps you still feel the temptation to control, to grip the wheel tightly, to demand to see the entire road before moving. But that's the test. The path never appears complete. It reveals itself step by step. Imagine the fog at dawn. You only see a few meters ahead. There's no clarity about the end of the road. But with each step taken, the fog recedes and the path opens. That's life. Destiny doesn't reveal itself to those who wait standing still. It reveals itself to those who dare to walk even without seeing everything. The universe doesn't demand perfection. It demands trust. Today is the day to release control. Today is the day to trust. Within you, there's an ancient seed. It wasn't planted yesterday. It was already there from the beginning. For years, it slept in the soil of your soul. Every tear was water. Every resistance was light. Every silence was nourishment. And now this Tuesday, the shell breaks. It's not that something new is being born. It's that what was always in you finally awakens. It's not transformation. It's remembrance. It's not invention. It's revelation. The true self, hidden beneath layers of masks and expectations, finally emerges. The world tried to convince you that you needed to be someone else. But the truth is, you were always enough. Awakening isn't about adding. It's about releasing what was never yours. This awakening isn't for tomorrow. It's for now. It's not about waiting for more signs, because the sign is here. You're alive, present, ready. You don't need perfection to begin. You don't need polish to answer the call. The universe never called the chosen when it was convenient. It always called when it was necessary. And now it's necessary. The world needs what you carry. It needs your voice. It needs your light. It needs your courage. It needs you today. But what does this awakening actually look like? How do you recognize it when it happens? The signs are already appearing in your life, though you might have dismissed them as coincidence. You've been noticing patterns, synchronicities that seem too perfect to be random. Numbers repeating, messages arriving at exactly the right moment, people entering your life just when you needed them. These aren't accidents. They're confirmations. The universe has been leaving breadcrumbs, and this Tuesday is when you finally see the trail clearly. Have you been waking up at unusual hours lately? Perhaps between 3 and 4 in the morning, your mind suddenly alert, your heart filled with a knowing you can't quite name. That's not insomnia, that's preparation. Your spirit has been training for this moment, stretching into new dimensions while your body rests. The discomfort you felt, the restlessness, the sense that something significant is about to happen, all of it has been leading here. Some of you have noticed that old relationships no longer resonate. Conversations that once engaged you now feel hollow. Activities that once brought joy now leave you empty. This isn't depression. This is evolution. Your frequency is changing, and not everyone can match it. This doesn't make you better than others. It simply means you're being tuned to a different station. The static you hear in old connections is the sound of misalignment. And this Tuesday marks the moment when you stop feeling guilty about it. Take a moment right now to share this in the comments. What signs have you been noticing? Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. And if this is touching something deep within you, share this video with someone who needs to remember they're chosen too. The causes of your awakening go deeper than you might realize. Think back to your childhood. Were you the one who asked questions others found uncomfortable, the one who saw through pretense, who couldn't fake enthusiasm for things that felt wrong. That wasn't a character flaw. That was your gift asserting itself early. The world tried to train it out of you. Parents, teachers, well-meaning friends all told you to be more realistic, more practical, more like everyone else. But that seed of truth within you refused to die. It went underground, yes, but it never stopped growing. Every heartbreak served a purpose. Each one stripped away a layer of illusion. Every failure removed what was false. Every disappointment cleared space for what is real. You thought those experiences were breaking you. They were actually breaking you open. The cocoon must tear for the butterfly to emerge. The shell must crack for the bird to fly. Your pain was never punishment. It was preparation. And this Tuesday, the preparation phase ends. The manifestation phase begins. You've been in training without knowing it. Every time you chose integrity over approval, you grew stronger. Every time you spoke truth when silence would have been easier, you built spiritual muscle. Every time you stood alone rather than compromise your values, you proved you were ready for this moment. The universe doesn't give assignments to the unprepared. It tests first, then promotes. Your tests are over. Your promotion is here. There's a reason this is happening on a Tuesday in the middle of the week, in what seems like an ordinary moment. The universe is teaching you something crucial. The sacred doesn't wait for perfect timing. It arrives when you're ready, regardless of the calendar. This Tuesday is special, not because of cosmic alignment or planetary movements, but because you have reached the point where you can receive what's being offered. The gift was always there. You've finally grown large enough to hold it. Think of a jar. If you try to pour an ocean into it, the water spills everywhere, wasted. But if you expand the jar, suddenly it can hold what seemed impossible. You are that jar. Your trials expanded you. Your struggles stretched you. Your pain hollowed you out so there's room for more. This Tuesday, the universe is pouring, and you're finally large enough to receive without spilling. Your path of awakening starts with a simple but profound shift, accepting that you don't need to have all the answers. The chosen ones often struggle with this because they've been conditioned to lead, to know, to be certain. But true wisdom begins with sacred uncertainty. It starts with saying, I don't know everything, but I'm willing to be taught. I can't see the whole path, but I'm willing to take the next step. This isn't weakness. This is the ultimate strength. If you're feeling a pull to go deeper into these truths, hit that subscribe button now and turn on all notifications. This is just the beginning of what you're meant to discover, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Start by acknowledging your resistance. Where in your life are you still trying to force outcomes? Where are you gripping so tightly that your knuckles are white? That's where you need to practice release. Not giving up, but giving over. Not abandoning effort, but surrendering control. There's a difference, and this Tuesday is when you learn it in your bones, not just in your mind. The universe can't place new gifts in hands that are already full. You must open your hands, even if it feels like everything will fall. What's truly yours will remain. What's not meant for you will fall away, and you'll realize it needed to. Next, begin to speak differently to yourself. The chosen ones carry a burden of self-judgment that would crush ordinary people. You hold yourself to impossible standards, then punish yourself when you fall short. But this Tuesday, that pattern breaks. Start talking to yourself as you would to someone you deeply love who's trying their best. Replace I should have with I'm learning to. Replace I failed with I discovered what doesn't work. Replace I'm not ready with I'm becoming ready. Your words to yourself are spells. You've been cursing when you should be blessing. Create space for stillness. The world will always demand noise, action, productivity. But the chosen ones must learn to draw power from silence. This doesn't mean hours of meditation, though that's beautiful if it calls to you. It means finding moments throughout your day to simply be. 3 conscious breaths in a bathroom stall. 30 seconds of feeling sunlight on your face. A minute of listening to nothing but your own heartbeat. In these gaps, the universe speaks. In this silence, your true self emerges. This Tuesday night before you sleep, give yourself 10 minutes of complete stillness. No phone, no music, no distractions. Just you and the quiet. What arises in that space will guide your next steps. Practice seeing signs without forcing them. The chosen ones sometimes try so hard to find meaning that they create it where it doesn't exist. Not every number is a message. Not every coincidence is cosmic. But some are, and you'll know the difference by how they feel. True signs land in your body before they reach your mind. You feel them as a yes in your chest, a warmth in your belly, a lightness in your shoulders. False signs stay in your head, requiring explanation and justification. Trust the body. It knows before the brain does. Begin to honor your no as much as your yes. The chosen ones often believe they must say yes to every opportunity, every request, every door that opens. But discernment is a sacred skill. Not every open door is your door. Some are tests to see if you've learned to recognize what's yours and what's not. This Tuesday, practice saying no to what doesn't align, even if it disappoints others. Your no to the wrong things is your yes to the right ones. There's no other way to walk your true path. Connect with at least one person who sees you clearly. The chosen ones often walk alone, but total isolation isn't the goal. You need at least one witness, one person who reflects your light back to you when you forget it's there. If you have that person, reach out this Tuesday. Tell them what you're experiencing. Let them remind you of your strength. If you don't have that person yet, become that for someone else. The universe often sends us what we need by having us provide it for others first. Remember that this awakening isn't just for you. Yes, your life will change. Yes, your path will become clearer. Yes, the fog will lift. But the ultimate purpose of your awakening is service. You're being prepared to light the way for others. Every lesson you learn, you'll teach. Every truth you discover, you'll share. Every breakthrough you experience, you'll help others achieve. The chosen ones aren't chosen to be elevated above others. They're chosen to reach back and pull others up. Drop a comment below with one commitment you're making after watching this. What's the first step you're taking tonight? Your declaration matters, and this community is here to support you. This Tuesday night, as you close your eyes, something shifts in the invisible realms. Doors that were locked begin to open. Paths that were hidden become visible. Resources that seemed out of reach start moving toward you. This isn't magical thinking. This is how the universe works when you finally align with your true frequency. What you've been seeking has been seeking you just as desperately. The only thing blocking the meeting was your own misalignment. This Tuesday, the alignment happens. You're not late. You're not lost. You're not off track. You're exactly where you need to be. Every struggle, every silence, every fall was rehearsal for this moment. Today, finally, the rehearsal ends and the real performance begins. This Tuesday isn't ordinary. This night isn't mundane. This is the marker. This is the call. This is the day when the extraordinary dresses as ordinary, just to see if you're capable of recognizing it. And you recognize it because you were chosen, because you're ready, because the time is now. When tomorrow comes and people ask how your Tuesday was, you might smile quietly. Because how do you explain to someone that everything changed in a moment that looked like nothing? How do you describe a shift they can't see, a breakthrough they can't measure, an awakening they can't quantify? You don't. You simply live differently. You walk with new certainty. You speak with new authority. You love with new depth. And slowly, without announcement or fanfare, your life becomes unrecognizable from what it was. The old you ends tonight, not in death but in transformation, not in loss but in evolution. The caterpillar doesn't die when it becomes a butterfly. It fulfills what it always was meant to be. You are fulfilling yourself this Tuesday. You are becoming what you always were, beneath the layers of doubt, fear, and false identity. This is not a new you being created. This is the real you finally being revealed. So as this message ends, your true beginning starts. This Tuesday, September 30th, marks the line in your life story. There will be before tonight, and there will be after tonight. The world may not notice. The calendar won't mark it. History won't record it. But you will know, in your bones, in your spirit, in every fiber of your being. you will know that this was the night everything changed. This was the Tuesday that transformed from ordinary to extraordinary, from common to sacred, from mundane to miraculous. Not because of what happened around you, but because of what awakened within you. The chosen one you've always been is fully awake now, and nothing will ever be the same, but awakening is just the beginning. What comes next determines whether this moment becomes a memory or a movement. Many people have awakening experiences. They feel the surge of recognition, the clarity of purpose, the certainty of calling. And then they return to sleep. They let the alarm clock of ordinary life lull them back into unconsciousness. The chosen ones must resist this pull. You must anchor this awakening in action, in commitment, in daily practice. This Tuesday gives you the spark. What you do Wednesday, Thursday, and every day after determines whether that spark becomes a flame or fades into smoke. Let's talk about what happens in the days following this activation. First, you'll likely experience what feels like chaos. Old structures that no longer serve you will begin to crumble. Relationships that were built on your false self will strain or break. Jobs that don't align with your purpose will become unbearable. Habits that numb you will lose their appeal. This isn't punishment for awakening. This is the natural consequence of rising in frequency. When you vibrate at a new level, everything not matching that vibration must adjust or leave. Don't panic when the dismantling begins. It's not destruction. It's renovation. Second, you'll face what mystics call the dark night of the soul, but in a compressed, accelerated form. Doubt will whisper that this Tuesday was just emotion, that nothing really changed, that you're fooling yourself. That voice will sound convincing because it's wearing the mask of reason. But here's the secret. Doubt after awakening isn't a sign you're wrong. It's confirmation you're right. The old self, sensing its death, fights hardest just before it dissolves. Every master, every prophet, every chosen one throughout history faced this moment. The difference between those who fulfilled their calling and those who didn't wasn't the presence or absence of doubt. It was the decision to move forward despite it. If you're committed to walking this path, no matter what comes, show your solidarity with others by leaving a comment that says, "I'm chosen" or "I'm ready." Let this community see that you're serious about this transformation, and let your declaration strengthen someone else's resolve. Third, you'll discover gifts you didn't know you had. Abilities that were dormant suddenly activate. You might find yourself speaking wisdom you didn't study, understanding concepts that used to confuse you, perceiving layers of reality you couldn't access before. These aren't new gifts. They were always part of your spiritual DNA. The awakening simply removes the interference, blocking their expression. When these gifts emerge, don't hide them out of false humility or fear of judgment. The world needs what you carry. Hiding your light doesn't serve anyone. It's not arrogance to shine. It's obedience to your design. Fourth, you'll experience accelerated manifestation. Things you've been trying to create for years will suddenly fall into place. Doors you've been knocking on will swing open. People you've been trying to reach will appear. Resources you've been seeking will flow. This isn't luck. This is alignment. When your inner frequency matches your true calling, the universe moves heaven and earth to support you. But here's the catch. What manifests might not look like what you expected. The universe delivers what you need, not always what you want. Trust the form the blessings take, even if they arrive wrapped in unexpected packages. The question isn't whether these changes will happen. They will. The question is whether you'll recognize them when they do, and whether you'll have the courage to embrace them. Most people spend their lives praying for change, then rejecting it when it arrives because it doesn't match their mental picture. The chosen ones must be different. You must develop the flexibility to recognize answered prayers even when they look like challenges. You must cultivate the wisdom to see gifts even when they're disguised as problems. Here's a practice for the coming days. Each morning before you engage with the world, take 3 minutes to state your intention. I am awake. I'm chosen. I'm ready. I recognize the signs. I embrace the changes. I trust the process. Say it aloud if possible. Let your own voice be the first sound your ears hear each day. This isn't empty affirmation. This is intentional alignment. You're tuning your instrument before playing the symphony of your day. 3 minutes. Every morning, watch what shifts. Before sleep each night, review your day with this question. Where did I see evidence of my awakening today? Not where you felt it, because feelings fluctuate. Where you saw it. Where you acted differently. Where you chose courage over comfort. Where you spoke truth instead of staying silent. Where you honored your knowing instead of deferring to others. Write down at least 3 pieces of evidence. This builds a case file, proving to yourself that something real happened this Tuesday. Your mind will try to dismiss it. Your evidence collection makes that impossible. As you move forward, you'll need to make a crucial distinction, the difference between your mission and your methods. Your mission is clear. You're here to awaken, to guide, to illuminate. That doesn't change. But your methods, the specific how of your mission, might shift repeatedly. Don't confuse flexibility in methods with instability in mission. The chosen ones often suffer because they lock into one way of expressing their purpose, then feel like failures when that way closes. But a prophet whose pulpit disappears doesn't stop being a prophet. They find a new pulpit, or they realize they never needed one. Stay married to your mission. Stay flexible with your methods. You'll also need to develop what I call sacred discernment, the ability to distinguish between the voice of your soul and the noise of your ego. They can sound similar, especially at first. The soul calls you toward growth, even when it's uncomfortable. The ego calls you toward safety, even when it's stagnant. The soul speaks in quiet certainty. The ego speaks in loud urgency. The soul's guidance brings peace, even when it brings challenge. The ego's directives bring anxiety, even when they promise comfort. This Tuesday, you're more attuned to your soul's voice than you've ever been. Practice listening. Practice obeying. The more you follow your soul's guidance, the clearer it becomes. Let me address something crucial. You might wonder if this message is for you. You might think, maybe I'm not really chosen. Maybe this is for someone else, someone more special, someone more ready. Stop that thought right now. The fact that you're here, that you've watched this far, that something in you resonated with this message, is proof this is for you. The chosen ones don't always feel chosen. Often they feel inadequate, unworthy, unprepared. But chosenness isn't about worthiness. It's about willingness. The universe doesn't pick the qualified. It qualifies the willing. You being here proves your willingness. Your willingness proves your chosenness. It's circular, yes, but it's true. Some of you are thinking about specific situations right now. A relationship that needs to end. A career that needs to change. A truth that needs to be spoken. A boundary that needs to be set. A dream that needs to be pursued. You know what it is. You've known for a while. This Tuesday is giving you permission to finally act on what you already know. You don't need another sign. You don't need more time to prepare. You don't need certainty about the outcome. You need courage for the next step. Just the next one, not the whole journey. Just the next step. And this Tuesday is infusing you with the courage to take it. Take a moment to support this channel's mission. If you believe in spreading these truths to others who need to hear them, share this video right now with someone specific who came to mind as you watched. Tag them, send it directly, or simply post it with the message, "This is for someone who needs it." Your share could be the catalyst for someone else's awakening. Remember this, your awakening isn't just about personal fulfillment. It has ripple effects beyond what you can imagine. When you step into your truth, you give others permission to step into theirs. When you honor your calling, you show others that honoring their calling is possible. When you trust your path, you inspire others to trust theirs. Your transformation is never just yours. It's a stone thrown into the pond of collective consciousness. The waves reach shores you'll never see, touching lives you'll never meet, changing stories you'll never hear. This Tuesday, you're not just changing your life. You're participating in the awakening of humanity itself. As we close this message, I want you to feel what's happening in your body right now. There's energy moving, isn't there? A tingling, a warmth, a sense of expansion. That's not imagination. That's your cellular structure responding to truth. Your body recognizes what your mind might still question. Trust what your body knows. It's more honest than your thoughts. This sensation you're feeling, this is the frequency of your true self. Memorize it. Return to it. Let it be your compass when you feel lost.